The 1998 EF 35mm f1.4 L USM was the largest aperture of its time autofocus prime 35mm lens, made for the 135 full-frame format. A classic design from Canon's first batch of EF L series primes, it stayed 17 years on the lineup as one of the best regarded prime lenses on the market, on par with Leica's Summilux 35 f1.4, a spec invented in Germany. In these 17 years, a lot of the market changed. It got accessible, commercial full-frame digital cameras thirsty for resolution. We've got revamped optical formulas, mainly for third-party brands, costing a third of the price. And we've got better mechanics, for more durable designs. But found easily over the used market, is this vintage 35mm EF lens a good option for photographers? Let's see. At 72 by 186mm of 580 grams of mostly metals, the first thing we always notice on Canon's L series is the build quality, meant for a lifetime of photography. Made for journalists, the external barrel protects the all-metal internals, made to withstand misalignments over the years. The ergonomics are not as streamlined as newer lenses, with tactile bumps for your fingers to adapt to the position of the controls, a single focusing ring and an autofocus switch. The ring is rubberized and smooth to the touch, offering great precision as shown by the distance window, and it's full-time connected to the ring type all-internal ultrasonic motor, always a headline coming from Canon. You see, the 35mm f1.4 market is very popular. Sigma has one, Nikon has one, Pentax has one, but for 17 years and still today, this 1988, EF L series is the fastest to lock focus. It all happens internally and at the blink of an eye, and you just point, press the button and shoot. It all works precisely and silently. It is one of the features to justify it on your kit from the used market and against all third-party options. Finally, at the front, the 72mm filter thread doesn't rotate. It supports polarizer that fits inside the supplied-in-the-box lens hood that sports a petal shape to better protect it against flaring. And at the rear, the metal mount is smooth and easy to use, housing the large rear element that itself moves independently from the focusing group, a floating design made to perfect the image quality at any focusing distance. And Canon doesn't declare any form of weather resistant. You must protect it against the elements. Overall, this is just what we expect from the L series. Build quality, trustworthy autofocus, great ergonomics. But as we'll see on its images, it's no joke when it comes to the image quality, often rendering beautiful files. With an impressive 11 elements in 8 groups optical formula, sporting one ground and polished aspherical glass to fix a spherical aberration, and the so-called floating focus design to support high-performance imagery no matter a defocusing distance. Indeed, what the EF 35mm f1.4 L USM delivers optically is excellent. Not the best at this time on the market, but far from the worst. You see, it just can deliver pin-sharp files at f1.4. From a time we used to shoot film that itself offered some field curvature, meant to be focused by an aspherical lens, this 35mm f1.4 can't really deliver details around the corners, no matter how Canon positioned the sensor's micro lenses to deal with these vintage designs. So compared to newer designs, be it Canon's own 35mm Mark II or most importantly Sigma's half-price Art Series, this vintage lens can't be compared to f1.4, not around the corners. Other issue that was fixed on the new blue refractive optics Mark II is the axial chromatic aberration that is visible on high contrast subjects at f1.4 that turn to purple fringing and green halos that must be fixed in post. But stopping down to just f2.8 or f4, even the vintage 35L greatly enhances performance, and another reason to have it even on today's kits. It still functions as a high-performance prime when you stop it down a little bit. The geometry is fine, the lateral chromatic aberration is neglectable, and the contrast is really high. So we're left with the flaring resistance and the color balance that, when paired to the smooth bokeh, makes for interesting and easy to work with files, that justifies its flaws on the used market. So these are the qualities that make this vintage prime popular still today. I've kept mine on the kit even after using the new near-flawless Mark II and Sigma's misalignment-prone Art Series. so I would easily recommend it to most photographers for the great build, AF performance and IQ. It's one of those oldie but goodie lenses that should always be with you, so just add it on your kit and nice shooting!